Aromie here, and welcome back to our live wedding DLC. We're here back with Baxter to plan even more wedding stuff. I don't know what we're exactly planning. We're planning like cake flavor or something. I don't know. A new date, another visit to our new wedding planner came down the rushing river that was your life at this time. You, Cove, and Baxter were each settled into the same spots at the appointment prior, but there wasn't any of that initial shock. Instead, things started off with a simple greeting. Hey, we have a wedding party now. Everyone we wanted accepted. Oh, you work faster than I do. Wonderful. I'll check it off and we can move fully forward. I hope you're excited. Couldn't be more. You gave a firm nod. I could take it or leave it. Oh, you tease? Yes, all you do is shrug. You bet your butt. The firm nod. Cove stutteringly giggled over the conversation. Well, he pulled out his pen while crossing his legs in a fluid motion. Our company has its own in-house photographer for your event, so that's taken care of. But there's the meal catering, cake, and any other dessert you want. I want a cake. Baxter coyly grinned at the abrupt interruption, unbothered. Can we also have cake pops? Is that thing in here? I'm sure you'll get your treat then. Along with those are the outfits for you both. And you'll naturally need to decide where the ceremony and reception will be held. If you're feeling unprepared to make a call on any of that now, we could always start with the dance lessons. What are you feeling? Knowing where the wedding is going to be is pretty important to get done, but on the other hand, it's such a big thing, it's kind of intimidating to think about. Cove tilted his head back and forth, and mentally working through his opinion on the matter. Baxter watched the struggle for a moment before bringing it back up. Chico, any thoughts for your to-be husband? We could decide the venues now. They shouldn't be put off any longer. How about we pick a caterer? Let's design a cake, Cove. Could we go clothing shopping? It would be nice to begin the dance sessions. Well, he was excited for the cake. So let's focus on the cake. Let's design a cake, Cove.
Yeah.
Baxter nodded his head, confirming that he'd register your choice. Beside you, Cove's excitement had bubbled over. He was bouncing in his seat, too eager to restrain himself. Good idea, Michiko. I'm definitely ready to plan treats. See? Let's do something he's ready for, and then progressively go towards the things he's unsure of. His open enthusiasm tickled you, eliciting whatever the word is, an adoring chuckle that slipped out. Across the table, Baxter joined you with a soft laugh of his own. Meanwhile, Cove seemed oblivious to your amusement. You figured he was too lost in imagining delicious cakes to notice what was happening around him. What you needed now was for someone to turn those dreams into reality. The agency had worked with suppliers of all kinds, so Baxter had a list of bakeries that they recommended for weddings. You and Cove had a few personal favorites too. Together, you reviewed the websites for all potential bakeries. Baxter had a wealth of handy tips on what to keep in mind when it came specifically to commissioning wedding cakes for you to take into consideration. The three of you whittled away the options until you finally settled on the one you wanted. With that decided, Baxter contacted them to arrange a meeting so you could select the flavors and discuss design ideas before working out practicalities. He easily secured a time that worked perfectly for both you and Cove. That brought you to the end of the meeting. The decision of which bakery to choose, the scheduling, briefing them on your basic requirements, had taken up all the remaining time you had with Baxter for today. The three of you rose from your seats one after the other.
Goodbye for today.
God, my fucking throat. It's been great to see you. Yeah, I can't believe next time we see you, we'll have our wedding cake picked out. Yeah, unless the bakery cancels on us. Cove's face fell, his horrified expression broke your composure, making you snort with laughter. Kidding, I'm sure that won't happen. We'll get to have our cake session, Cove. Of course, I'm sure you'll have a great time together. I look forward to hearing what you decide on. Though I won't be there in person, you can always text me if you want advice during the process. Think you will manage. I'm not sure I can trust your taste. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm pretty sure Cove's going to be on top of this, he joked. You nodded along. No, I'm pretty sure Cove's got this. Cove puffed his chest out proudly. Thank you, Michiko. He waved goodbye as you and Cove left the office for the day. Ooh! Look how cute this bakery shop. Wait, I want to take a picture later for reference, but this is so cute. What are these over here, though? Kind of like crunchy muffins or something. Ew, crunchy muffins? Actually, there's stuff they could sprinkle on muffins to give it a crunch taste. Well, these are muffins. I don't fucking know. The light twinkling of a bell over the door announced your arrival as you and Co stepped inside, where you were immediately welcomed by a pleasant waft of sweet scents. The bakery was a delight for the senses even before you'd taken a single bite. Decked out in a pretty shade of pink, it was impossible to miss. Cove closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. There was a soft air of cakes and pastries baking in the oven, tinged with the warm spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. The display case was full of the daily selection of mouth-watering delicacies, neatly lined up and ready to be taken away. The selection ranged from intricate specialty cakes to more rustic, homey brownies and cupcakes. Usually those kind of treats would be everything you needed, but today was a special visit. You were entirely focused on the even better desserts waiting for you on the horizon. You could tell Cove shared your feelings. He waited beside you with every outward appearance of patience, but you could tell his anticipation by the way he kept a close watch on the kitchen door to wait for an employee to come greet you. This uncharacteristic restraint was a stark contrast to any other time he visited a bakery, where he'd have rushed over to the display case and immediately began picking out the cakes to take home. As he shifted from one foot to another, you knew that he was fighting to hold back those usual urges. Luckily, his self-control wasn't tested for long, so the door to the kitchen swung open and a friendly-looking face emerged. Spotting you and Cove, the person's mom began heading over. As they approached, you saw that the name on their tag said Xavier, with a little purple button pinned on one strap of their apron with the words "they" "them" printed in black letters. Xavier walked right up to you and gave you a welcome so warm you could have sworn it had come fresh from the oven. "Hello, thanks for coming back by." So it's Xavier, right? So. Egg? I don't know. Is there anything I can get for you? Hi, Cove paused, pointing first at himself, then at you as he spoke. "We're Cove and Michiko. We've got an appointment here." His voice, which had started out measured and even, became hushed as the thrill of what you were here to do started to get to Cove. When he resumed speaking, it broke further still, dissolving into a rushed whisper that Xavier needed to lean in to catch. "It's to plan our wedding cake. We're getting married." What he said. "We're so glad to be here. Thank you for making time for us." Cove would sulk for days if we skipped out on this part. You're not a polite greeting of your own. "Thank you for making time for us." Xavier's eyes lit up at the introduction. "Of course, welcome Michiko and Cove, our bride and groom." Cove preened ever so slightly at those last words, his chin jutting out with confidence. "I'm Xavier, the head cake artist here. We're so happy to be working with you for such an important event. You can take some seats right there in front, and we can start talking options." They gestured to a nearby table. You and Cove obliged, taking your seats. As you sat down, your stomach somersaulted. You were really here to pick out a wedding cake, the cake that would be served at your wedding. It hadn't quite sunk in before, but being invited to begin had made it feel more official. But knowing that you weren't alone in feeling that way, comforted you. And you grinned at the love of your life, Cove beamed back at you. The baker had taken a detour over to the back shelf where they picked up a binder before coming to stand before you at the table. Oh, and over the info our baking assistants took when the appointment was arranged, so we can dive right into things. So let's get to it. Starting with the size of the cake, how big do you want it to go? We can go as big as 5 tiers high. Whoa, that's a little too much. 5 tiers? It's a little too much. Especially when we don't have that many people attending the wedding. 2 or 3 maybe. Cove tilted his head to the side as he looked in for your input. 3 would be wonderful, which I was gonna go with 3. Would just 1 be alright? I don't want to overdo it. 2 sounds perfect. 3 would be wonderful. Would 4 be okay instead? If they can do 5, let's do 5. That's too high. As much as I love even numbers, I feel like a 3-tier cake would look very cute. Cool. Seeing as you reach a conclusion, Xavier noted it down the binder. A 3-tier cake it is. They glanced up from the binder, smiling. That will give us a lot to work with. In terms of decorating, is there any kind of direction you want us to aim for in the overall style? Cove pursed his lips, stumped by the question. Artistic vision had never been his strong suit. Though you review ideas for decorations and color schemes together, asking Cove to distill those visions and themes into words was doomed to failure. You took it from there and said, traditional, modern, elegant, unusual, trendy, simplistic, beachy, floral, rustic, whatever you think is best. Oh, I want floral. Floral for sure. Cove sighed, relieved, and expressed his approval. Yeah, that's right. We can work with that for sure. Any color ranges in mind. Again, Cove fell silent, like a kid hoping not to be called on in the classroom. Even though it was just the 3 of you and he had no choice of hiding, you could swear that he was shrinking lower in his seat as if hoping to go unnoticed. As entertaining as that was, you decided to spare Cove before he slipped under the table. He spoke up and said, "Pastels! I love pastels." Got it, and what's one color you really want me to keep on top of my mind? Pink. Where's pink? Pink. Nice, I'm getting you. Because pink is our main color, so Obviously, the cake also has to be pink in a way. Xavier looked up from the binder. Right, so we're going for a 3-tier pink cake that's floral. You can picture it now. It was going to be perfect. Yep, that's fantastic. That fantastic combo is definitely our cake. Cove, who was staring at you like you'd save... I hope he gets to pick the flavor, because at this point I'm picking literally everything. You saved him from a life or death situation rather than answering a couple of simple questions in a pleasant bakery. Gave you a thumbs up. Xavier watched you both with a smile. This cake is really shaping up. Time for the fun part. I'll be right back. They got up and made their way into the kitchen. The fun part? Cove echoed the words, puzzled but intrigued. He peered after Xavier, trying to catch a glimpse of the magic happening behind the closed doors. Craning his neck didn't grant Cove X-ray vision, but that was just fine, as you weren't kept in suspense for long. Xavier quickly returned with a large covered serving tray. Cove gasped, his fingers curling with anticipation. Careful coming through! They lowered the heavy platter onto the table, where it clattered against a hard surface as it settled. Ooh! Wow, look at all these choices! Oh, strawberries. Xavier lifted the cover to reveal several plates of little cake slices with mounds of different frosting filling flavors. The beautiful array of colors and breadth of the selection made for a wonderfully presented array of treats. Cove gaped, wowed by the revelation. Oh. We get to try samples? Xavier giggled at Cove's reaction, given just as how much enthusiasm Cove had. Yet bet there weren't many previous grooms whose response could compare. You do! They put in the tray and began talking you through the selection, starting with the neat little slices of cake. So I've got a few cake flavors for you today. Vanilla, chocolate, red velvet, citrus, and such. Ooh, citrus! They moved over to the frosting fillings. There's vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, maple, and mocha buttercream. Over here we got chocolatey and fruity fillings, though the inside can simply contain more frosting if you prefer. Strawberry shortcake. Can I have that as a wedding cake, but like fancified? Cause like that's Tyler and I's like one of our favorites. His is his other favorite cake is like pineapple upside down, but I think both of us absolutely enjoy strawberry shortcake. Having talked you through the samples, they straightened up. There are some of our most popular options, but not everything. You can see all our options on the order forms. As they talked, they took out 2 copies of the order sheet and presented you with each one. All the possibilities for each element of the cake were laid out before you. That's everything. You're welcome to eat whatever parts look appealing, or you can have everything on the platter if you've got the stomach for it. Cove's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Knowing Cove, you suspected that he intended to take Xavier up on the offer to sample everything. He picked up the fork provided and began systematically working through the platter. He took scoops out of the cake, frosting and filling options in turn, moving from left to right and from top to bottom. He chuckled softly, amused that your hunch had been correct. Though Cove was evidently intent on eating a bit of everything, you know that he was careful to leave at least half of each sample in case you wanted it too. Started trying everything as well. You only wanted to try the ones which looked most appealing. You only wanted to do the small tasting and eat. What the fuck? Who wouldn't eat free taste testing here? You started trying everything as well. It all looked delicious. Picking up a fork, you joined Cove in sampling the cakes, frosting and fillings on offer. You remember your delight to each other as you discovered new combinations and enjoy the sheer variety laid out before you. Cove's eyes shone as he looked at you, glad to be sharing the experience. You were so enraptured that you nearly forgot that you were Cove. But this too was by design. The baker stood by approvingly, careful not to do anything that might interrupt your enjoyment. You held up your fork to feed a piece to Cove. You gestured to Cove that you wanted to eat the sample on his fork. You cozied up next to him. You seized the last bite of cake before Cove could get it. You were relaxing to the moment, enjoying the experience together. Oh, let's feed him a piece. Cove spotted the poised fork in front of him, laden with cake. You knew your intentions had been understood as the blush spread over his cheeks. Even now, it was criminally easy to make him embarrassed. Still, he leaned in and opened his mouth to accept the offering. You brought the fork to his lips, and he happily ate the treat. Thanks, Machiko. He held up his own fork where the bite he'd been about to take was waiting. For you. Aww. He leaned in to be fed. Cove's eyes glimmered, happy to reciprocate. You bit down and around his fork. The cake seemed sweeter when it was being fed to you like this. Cove shimmied happily. Oh, so cute! You're so cute for what? The different varieties had gone down very well with him. They're all so good. He cracked a grin. Hey, could we get a tier for every flavor? Xavier laughed. Unfortunately, we can't, at least not in a single cake, and I'm guessing you don't want several different cakes for your wedding. Yeah, we should just go with one. I have no idea how we're going to choose with so many great choices. We're definitely ready to get our own cake after having samples. It's okay, Cove. We can always get cakes for our anniversaries in the future. You shook your head at Cove's antics. You're not in agreement. We can get cakes for our anniversaries. It would be nice to taste the experience over again year after year, especially if you could continue to get cakes from the same bakery that had provided your wedding cake. The suggestion made him swoon for you. The promise of food and staying together was a perfect hit. Now that you and Cove were experts in the bakery's cakes, it was time to figure out the details. We can do the cake all in one flavor, top to bottom, or let you choose 2 sets of different flavors. What works for you? I think one flavor for the entire cake makes the most sense. Having different flavors for the tier sounds fun. Well, since he enjoyed so many different flavors and we're having a 3-tier cake, we can have 3 different tiers, technically. Yeah, let's do that. Cove lifted himself up off the chair briefly to switch his position. He moved over from leaning forward towards the tray and shifted to be situated on the side of the chair facing you. What's your thoughts? You don't need to stick to it forever, but were you thinking something kind of plain, chocolate, fruity, or what? He picked up the copy of the form, reviewed the options again. After studying carefully, you said simple and vanilla, chocolatey, fruity, something that people probably haven't had before, but it's still good. I want to go for something fruity because I feel like we're going to be on an outside beach. So I'm going to assume the venue is going to be outside because these two love to be outside a lot. So fruity. Okay. He rested his chin in his hand as he stared thoughtfully into the distance. A smile drifted across his face as he pictured the possibilities for a cake. And what do you think of? Like a lemon cake with strawberry buttercream and mixed berries reserves for the inside? Wow, that sounds actually good. That sounds wonderful. Let's go with that for one of the sets. That's really nice. Can we tweak a part of it? That's an option. No. I've been picking all the the design stuff. So let the man pick what he wants the cake to be. Whatever, bro. Because it's 50-50 here. Cove straightened up at your words of approval, amazed that his idea had been helpful. The baker jotted it down. I'm good with that. How about the rest? Thinking about the type of cake you want, he decided to suggest white vanilla cake, vanilla chocolate marble, red velvet, spice cake, ube cake. Ooh. I never tried ube cake, but I'm glad it's here as an option because I've seen that before, like ube yogurt and stuff. Carrot cake, citrus cake, matcha cake, lemon cake, coconut mango. Ooh, mango? Ooh, but I also like matcha. But matcha isn't really fruity. Mango. For the frosting, like the idea of vanilla, chocolate, white chocolate, cream cheese, peanut, matcha, lemon, maple, coconut, almond, hazelnut, strawberry. Strawberry? Did we already choose strawberry for that? I think we did. Ube and orange. Vanilla. When it came to the inside filling, you propose more of the buttercream, the filling, mousse, ganache, fresh fruits. Let's do fresh fruits. Specifically, ooh, peaches. What did I choose? Mango, vanilla. Oh, peaches, bro. That's gonna be delicious. That combo right there. Holy shit. Cove, who'd been nodding along with your suggestions, recapped the idea. So you're thinking of a mango cake with vanilla frosting and fresh peach. Oh, that sounds so good. Does that not sound good to you guys? That sounds so good. You got it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, doesn't it? Then your mouth-watering cake flavors were all set. You were sure it was going to be a hit at the wedding. The inside of the cake is great. All that's left now is the cover. How should we wrap your baby up? Do you like fondant or maybe ganache? Cove shrugged. You said just buttercream covered in fondant, buttercream covered in ganache. What is ganache? I like chocolate. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of fondant because it stinks and it doesn't taste good. So let's just do buttercream. Got it, almost done. They scribbled that down in the binder. Finally, what elements would you like me to include in the design and presentation of the cake? A bride and groom cake topper, raw icing, piping, meringue detailing, edible pearls, sugar-made decorations, edible paint, fresh flowers, ribbons around the ears. Can I pick a lot, or am I only allowed to pick a little? Because I want like almost all of this. I almost want all of it. Fresh flowers. Ooh, okay. Meringue detailing, royal icing piping. Hell yeah. I don't care for these two. Extra fancy, huh? That works for me. Awesome, we got ourselves a cake plan. The baker's words made it official. You pick your wedding cake. You couldn't help but being especially thrilled about it. The wedding cake was such a focal part of the party. It will be featured in photographs and shared among your family and friends. The joy of the day distilled into a beautiful confection. Just thinking about it left you breathless. You glanced at Cove out of the corner of your eye, wondering if he was feeling as excited as you were. He was leaning forward in his seat, a rapt expression on his face. As Xavier continued speaking, you pulled yourself back to the present. I'll take all the info you've given us today and use it to think up the finished design. I'll keep you in the loop on how it's going. Though before you go, are you wanting any other dessert on the side? Maybe cupcakes or cookies? Or we could do something else if there's anything specific you have in mind. Cake pop, you got cake pop. Cupcakes, cookies, and the ice cream, cinnamon rolls, fudge, crepes. Oh, crepes! Oh, pretzels! Oh, let's do crepes though. Cove nodded eagerly through your suggestion. It would be so good if we could have those. Unexpected, but not impossible. We can make some crepes. Cove beamed with delight. The three of you talked over the details of your additional dessert. Xavier skillfully guided you through it all to determine everything from your preference for flavor and texture to quantity you needed. Eventually, it was all set up. Xavier reviewed their notes in the binder. So you're getting a 3-tier cake with a floral kind of feel that's multi-flavored. And you're also getting some crepes along with it. Your heart flutters as you imagine the cake once again. You and Cove standing over it and ready to take the first cut. The side dessert beautifully complemented the cake, completing the picture perfectly. Yeah, those are our desserts. Cove bounced in his chair again, his hands clasped against the edge of the table. His excitement was as palpable as your own. This is gonna be so good. Xavier grinned, pleased to see the two of you so happy. Thanks again for coming to us for your wedding. We'll make the desserts of your dreams. You worked through the outstanding specifics of your order with Xavier, who was determined to get everything right for your big day and had an answer ready for everything you could throw at them. Once the final arrangements had been confirmed, you left the bakery feeling confident that your wedding cake was going to be just wonderful. Cove naturally shared your optimism completely. As per usual, you and Cove and Baxter met up on another day for another session, and I'm gonna save here for the other session because I'm sure in the next session we're gonna have to be doing something else, and I'll just split up the videos like that. So thank you guys for watching today's episode. I really want to try to make a mango vanilla buttercream peaches cake now. That sounds so good, but I don't even know how to make the mango cake part. I don't know how to make that part. But thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I will see you guys in the next one.